All right, I'm going to try to provide some explanation for Shop-Vac's 1.5 inch size hose and accessories. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of confusion around that. Yeah, and I have, I think, a better understanding now that I just bit the bullet and bought some accessories, and it's starting to make a little bit of sense to me, although still a little bit frustrating. But at least I've found some solutions that work. So this is what came with my Shop-Vac. We've got a Crevice Tool that has to use an adapter. We've got this guy, this guy that does not have to use an adapter. And then we've got another adapter. So for clarity, I'm going to call this an adapter, because this actually allows me to go from 1.5 inch to use my standard 1.25 inch accessories that I already have. So that's an adapter, 1.5 inch to 1.25 inch, and works with my 1.25 inch hose or 1.25 inch wand, so I can do those sorts of things. Okay, so that adapter came with it. For the Crevice Tool, it's like that, and came with this guy that's a little bit different. They're calling this an adapter also. It has this little ring around it, kind of a collar, that allows it to fit in the rubberized end. And near as I can tell, the big difference with the 1.5 inch hose style is that it has this rubberized end. And I don't see that on any of their other sizes. Definitely not on the 1.25 inch. And I don't see it on the larger sizes either. So here we have that little ring collar built into this tool. This one does not. It's just flat and has to have a collar adapter on it in order to fit. They must have felt there was some advantage to this rubberized end. And I think maybe part of it is that on some tools with a vacuum attachment, this can attach directly to it more easily, and you don't end up with a long plastic wand that's permanently part of this, which makes that difficult. It doesn't work so well on a power tool with the end like that. That may be part of the thinking. So these tools are essentially equivalent on the end now. This one using the collar adapter, this one having that part permanently built in. Now, one of the items I was most interested in was the round brush, and so I bought one, 90644, and here it is. And you can see that it is definitely not the same as a 1.25 inch brush attachment. It's much larger, and in fact it is a true 1.5 inch accessory. What's causing some confusion I've read in some of the other reviews is this actually shipped with an adapter. Hey, why does it need an adapter if it's a true 1.5 inch accessory? Well, the reason is because it's flat. It's like the Crevice Tool. So you have to use that if you want to use it directly on here. There you go. And that would work. Now, near as I can tell, the reason for this piece, and I'm not saying I like this design, it doesn't seem like good design to me, but the reason for that is that if you buy the true 1.5 inch wands, which I got as part of this kit, 9190300, and it came with a couple of 1.5 inch extension wands and a squeegee kit that I may never use. Mostly just one of the wands. No idea why they didn't ship with the unit. Cost savings, I imagine. Okay, so the 1.5 inch accessories fit nicely on the wands, as you would expect. Okay, Crevice Tool fits nicely on the wands. The wands, however, do not fit directly here. So they have to use collar adapter. There you go. It's pretty decent. It's not going to fall apart too easily. Now, the only thing I can come up with for why they didn't just put this collar as a permanent part of this is because it does allow you to mate two wands together. because they don't have that collar. So you can do that and then choose to put the collar only on the one on the end so it can mate here. Now, one downside to this whole setup for sure is that this guy, because he has the permanent collar built in, cannot work with the 1.5 inch ones. The only way to use this is directly on the hose. And I may mess around with that a little bit and try to modify that, or look for something similar to this that's a 1.5 inch accessory that has that end, so I can actually use it on the wands. And this that came with does not fit. It would be here. The 1.5 to 1.25 inch does not fit on the end of the wands. It should be thought of more like the collar adapter, even though for some reason it doesn't have the little collar on it, but it seems to only be meant to go in the rubberized end. One other quick note, because I did see some reviews on this, which so far I haven't really used it yet, but so far I think I'm happy with it. It seems to be the equivalent of the 1.25 inch brush that I'm used to. One thing I kept reading was that it had this hard plastic inside, and that people weren't real crazy about that. It does extend probably a 1/2 inch above where the bristles start, but on the inside. But as I'm looking at my old 1.25, it's the exact same way, and that's never bothered me before. So you can see the hard plastic in there maybe. So I don't know that it's fundamentally any different. It's just the larger size. So I think I'm happy with that. And I think now that I've bought these two accessories, the brush and the wand setup, I think I've got a Shop-Vac that's going to work for me. So hopefully that helps, and good luck.